Imagine standing in the heart of a modern city, endless noise, screens flashing, voices competing for attention. The world tells you to cling tightly to your career, your image, your relationships. In this exploration, we confront a truth that has unsettled and liberated thinkers across ages. Nothing is as solid as it seems. The Stoics, the Buddhists, even an enigmatic Egyptian burial artifact all whisper the same revelation: what we call real is fleeting. And in that fleeting nature lies our freedom. We see how society's obsession with defining who we are becomes its own prison. This tension defines the human condition, and nowhere is it more evident than in our modern age of material abundance and spiritual poverty. The Stoics developed an entire philosophy around this central paradox, one that neuroscience is only now beginning to validate through cutting-edge research. The universe is change. A recently translated papyrus from the 2nd century AD contains funeral instructions stating, "Do not mourn overmuch, for the deceased was never truly contained within these bones." This remarkable document bridges Egyptian spirituality and Stoic philosophy, suggesting that across cultures, the wisest minds recognize the illusory nature of fixed identity. Modern particle accelerators have proven him right. At fundamental levels, matter exists as probabilities rather than fixed entities. The Emperor's meditations take on new meaning when we consider that 98% of our atoms are replaced annually. Both suggest that what we perceive as solid reality is actually 99.999% empty space. Their research validates Seneca's observation: true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. The data shows experiences bring more lasting satisfaction than possessions precisely because they resist our attempts to cling to them. This provides physiological evidence for Marcus Aurelius' claim: what benefits the hive benefits the bee. Our interconnectedness isn't just philosophical, it's biological. This aligns perfectly with Epictetus' teaching. It's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. When particles become entangled, they instantly affect each other across any distance, suggesting the universe operates an inseparable whole. This mirrors Seneca's insight: all things are joined together in sacred unity. Similarly, our perceived flaws and losses become sources of strength when we stop demanding perfection. What might you attempt if you knew nothing could be permanently lost, only endlessly reborn in new forms? As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. In embracing this, we find the courage to flow with life's current rather than exhausting ourselves swimming against it. These are the questions that lead to what the Stoics called eudaimonia, the flourishing life. As Epictetus taught, difficulties reveal men's characters. Water molecules formed beautiful patterns when exposed to positive thoughts and disorganized when subjected to negativity. Your past is literally rewritten with each remembering. What then remains to be lost? The freedom lies in recognizing ourselves not as fixed entities, but as conscious participants in existence's endless dance. While scientifically debated, this illustrates the Stoic principle that our perceptions shape our reality far more than external events. When we recognize careers as evolving processes rather than fixed identities, we become more adaptable in volatile job markets. Clinical trials show ACT, which teaches Stoic-like psychological flexibility, outperforms traditional CBT for treating depression and anxiety. Patients learn to diffuse from rigid self-concepts, exactly what Epictetus meant by first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. When we view relationships as dynamic connections rather than possessions, we love more freely. As the Tao Te Ching says, clay is shaped into vessels, but the utility lies in the emptiness within. Social media platforms exploit our craving for stable identity by rewarding curated personas with validation hits. The Stoic response would be what Seneca called premeditatio malorum, regularly contemplating the impermanence of all we hold dear to maintain proper perspective. You are quite literally not the same person who began reading this paragraph. MRI scans show that mindfulness meditation, strikingly similar to Marcus Aurelius' morning rituals, physically thickens the prefrontal cortex while shrinking the amygdala. We can literally rewire our brains to become less reactive to loss and change. And how the wisdom of emptiness might be the key to walking through walls. But what if the key to peace isn't holding on, but releasing your grip? Their secret mirrors Marcus Aurelius' advice. Love your fate amor fati. What happens to you has been waiting to happen since the beginning of time. Study participants who practiced this mindset showed remarkable resilience to life's inevitable changes and losses. If nothing lasts, where do we find stability? But Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king who ruled an empire, by age 3, humans already exhibit what psychologists call endowment bias, valuing objects simply because we possess them. This innate tendency explains why we cling so desperately to identities, relationships, and possessions, even when they no longer serve us. The Stoic solution, a radical practice Epictetus called the discipline of desire, systematically examining and recalibrating what we consider truly valuable. Saw deeper, all things fade into the storied past, and in a little while shrouded in oblivion. This isn't despair, it's the ultimate clarity. When we stop demanding permanence from a world built on change, we begin to move through life like water, unbroken by the rocks. What if the things you fear losing were never truly yours to begin with? Welcome to Stoic Dharma, where we bridge ancient wisdom and the chaos of today. At first, this idea may feel like standing at the edge of a cliff. Today, we'll walk through history and thought from the Stoics who faced war and plague with uncheckable calm, to an ancient coffin inscription that challenges our very sense of self. We live suspended between two fundamental truths: our desperate craving for permanence, and the universe's relentless impermanence. At Yale University's Cognition and Development Lab, researchers made a startling discovery about how children form attachments. Marcus Aurelius, ruling the Roman Empire at its zenith, penned words that now find eerie resonance in quantum physics. All that exists is in a state of metamorphosis. The Egyptian Museum in Cairo holds archaeological evidence of this ancient wisdom. Harvard's longitudinal study on happiness tracking lives for over 80 years confirms a truth the Stoics knew: those who embrace impermanence report significantly higher life satisfaction. Our digital age has weaponized attachment through what researchers call the dopamine feedback loop. Cutting-edge neuroplasticity research at University College London offers biological confirmation of Stoic practices. The Buddhist concept of sunyata, emptiness, finds parallel in modern physics vacuum energy theory. Princeton psychologists have quantified the hedonic treadmill, our tendency to quickly adapt to new circumstances and return to baseline happiness. Japanese scientist Masaru Emoto's controversial water crystal experiments provide a poetic metaphor. At Stanford's Center for Compassion and Altruism Research, studies reveal that practicing Stoic-inspired compassion meditation reduces inflammatory markers in the bloodstream. The implications for daily living are profound. Modern acceptance and commitment therapy directly applies these ancient insights. Quantum entanglement theory provides a scientific metaphor for Stoic interconnectedness. As we prepare to explore practical Stoic exercises, consider this neuroscientific truth: every memory you recall is actually a reconstruction. The Japanese art of kintsugi offers a beautiful metaphor: broken pottery repaired with gold, making the fractures part of the beauty. What would you create if failure meant only learning? How would you love if heartbreak was understood as transformation? The path to true freedom begins not in acquiring, but in releasing our death grip on illusions of control. Modern physics confirms what ancient Stoics intuited. At quantum levels, reality behaves more like a verb than a noun. This fundamental insight transforms how we approach life's inevitable changes. The Stoics developed practical exercises to embody this wisdom, tools that neuroscience now proves can literally rewire our brains for resilience. At Oxford's Wellcome Center for Integrative Neuroimaging, researchers using fMRI technology made a remarkable discovery. Brain scans of participants contemplating transient beauty like cherry blossoms showed simultaneous activation of both the pleasure and pain centers. This neural dance explains why we find autumn leaves or fading sunsets so profoundly moving. They teach us to hold beauty lightly, as the Stoics recommended. The average person now leaves behind enough digital data to create convincing AI avatars after death. This modern dilemma makes Stoic wisdom more relevant than ever. As Epictetus warned, it's not death we fear, but the thought of death. Contemporary thanatologists, death researchers confirm that those who regularly contemplate mortality live more purposeful lives. Participants practicing Stoic-inspired mindfulness showed increased activity in the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, the brain region associated with emotional regulation. University of Pennsylvania studies show this cognitive shift correlates with decreased activity in the amygdala. Neuroscience studies at Kyoto University show that contemplating wabi-sabi art activates the default mode network associated with self-reflection and meaning-making. This mirrors the Stoic exercise of finding value in all circumstances, perfect or otherwise. Harvard's planetary health research demonstrates how every action ripples through Earth's systems. Cal Newport's research at Georgetown demonstrates that periodic digital fasting, like the Stoics' voluntary discomfort exercises, increases attention span and life satisfaction. Those who regularly contemplate loss through practices like memento mori develop greater capacity to handle actual bereavement. The Stoics weren't being morbid, they were psychologically preparing themselves, much like firefighters trained for emergencies. Unlike philosophies that remain abstract, Stoicism provides concrete tools: morning rituals to set intention, evening reflections to review progress, mental exercises to reframe challenges. Neuroscience confirms these practices create lasting changes in brain structure and function. The ancient discipline of periodically simplifying one's life proves just as valuable in our age of information overload. We're rediscovering that these time-tested practices don't just provide comfort, they actively reshape our brains to better navigate reality as it truly is: ever-changing, unpredictable, and beautifully impermanent. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the universe is transformation. Life is opinion. Our power lies in aligning our opinions with nature's fundamental truth of constant change. Early research suggests this Stoic, Buddhist hybrid may enhance what psychologists call cognitive flexibility, the mental agility needed in our rapidly changing world. This modern understanding gives new depth to Marcus Aurelius' words: what does N benefit the hive, does N benefit the bee? Our individual well-being is inextricably linked to the whole. At UCLA's Mindful Awareness Research Center, studies show that combining Stoic philosophy with mindfulness meditation creates synergistic benefits greater than either practice alone. The exercises developed millennia ago prove remarkably adaptive to 21st century challenges because they address fundamental human psychology rather than temporary circumstances. Participants showed 30% greater stress reduction compared to control groups, fear center, and increased activity in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Participants who maintained evening reflections, like Marcus Aurelius' famous meditations, showed 23% greater emotional resilience than control groups. The act of writing what went well today, what could I improve, creates neural pathways that enhance objective self-awareness. Exactly what the Stoics meant by the examined life. Rational planning area. In layman's terms, we can literally train our brains to meet change with clarity rather than panic. This provides scientific validation for Marcus Aurelius' morning ritual. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. The Stoic practice of negative visualization, premeditatio malorum, finds surprising support in contemporary psychology. University of California studies demonstrate that mentally rehearsing potential losses actually increases gratitude and life satisfaction. University of North Carolina studies show that reframing challenges as opportunities, what the Stoics called the obstacle, the way, activates the brain's reward system, creating literal pleasure in overcoming difficulties. Seneca advised, He who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive. Astronauts reporting the overview effect, that profound shift in consciousness when viewing Earth from orbit, describe experiences eerily similar to Marcus Aurelius' meditations. Think of substance entire of which you have a very small portion. Think of time entire in which a brief and momentary interval is assigned to you. Modern research shows this technique reduces the brain's fear response by up to 50% when facing actual challenges. Japanese scientists studying the phenomenon of mono no aware, the poignant awareness of impermanence, discovered something extraordinary. The ancient Stoic discipline of view from above, taking cosmic perspective, now has empirical support from space psychology. MIT's lab research into digital legacy reveals how our technological age struggles with impermanence. Neuroscience has identified what is called the Stoic switch, the moment when practitioners shift from resisting change to accepting it. The Stoic concept of sympathia, cosmic interconnectedness, finds validation in ecological science. Stanford's Behavioral Design Lab has quantified the benefits of Stoic journaling. Cutting-edge research into post-traumatic growth reveals that adversity often leads to transformation when approached with Stoic mindset. The Japanese practice of wabi-sabi, finding beauty in imperfection and transience, offers a cultural parallel to Stoic principles. Modern digital minimalism movements unknowingly echo Stoic practices. Research into anticipatory grief at Columbia University's Death Lab confirms another Stoic insight. The emerging field of neurostoicism combines ancient wisdom with modern brain science. As we face unprecedented global changes, climate disruption, technological transformation, societal shifts, Stoic wisdom offers an anchor in turbulent seas. The practice of stochastic meditation, randomly alternating between contemplation of impermanence and appreciation of the present moment, shows particular promise. What makes Stoicism uniquely powerful is its pragmatic approach. As we move forward, the marriage of ancient Stoic wisdom and modern science offers hope. Modern psychology is only beginning to catch up to what Stoic philosophers understood millennia ago. Suffering is not the enemy of a good life, but its refining fire. At Columbia University's Resilience Center, neuroscientists have identified post-traumatic growth, the ability to emerge stronger from adversity. Their findings read like a clinical validation of Epictetus' claim, "Difficulty shows what men are." Marcus Aurelius would have nodded in recognition. The obstacle in the path becomes the path. He understood that challenges, not roadblocks, but integral parts of the journey, offering unique opportunities for growth that ease and comfort can never provide. Yale's Center for Emotional Intelligence found that individuals who practiced acceptance-based coping, a secular cousin to Stoic amor fati, or love of fate, recovered from loss 40% faster than those who fought against reality. Stanford's business school now offers a course called the Stoic CEO, teaching leaders how to apply these ancient principles to modern challenges. Research on executives who practice Stoic techniques shows they make better decisions under pressure, with brain scans revealing enhanced integration between emotional and rational processing centers. This suggests that Stoic practices don't just reduce stress. They actively improve executive function, leading to clearer thinking and more effective leadership when stakes are high in demanding environments. Their brains showed unique activation patterns in the insula, the region associated with interception and emotional awareness. The NBA's Miami Heat have incorporated Stoic practices into their training regimen. Players who journal like Marcus Aurelius and practice negative visualization, contemplating potential losses or failures to prepare mentally, 23% better performance under playoff pressure. As coach Eric Spoelstra notes, it's not about suppressing emotions, it's about channeling them with wisdom. This strategic application of Stoicism helps athletes manage performance anxiety, maintain focus amidst chaos, and view setbacks not as defeats, but as valuable feedback for improvement. This neural signature mirrors Seneca's advice: let nature deal with matter, which is her own, as she pleases. Let us be cheerful and brave in the face of everything. We perform what the Stoics called the alchemy of the self, transforming base suffering into golden wisdom. The same exercises that help Seneca navigate Nero's Rome can help us navigate digital overload and information overwhelm, teaching us to focus on what is within our control and filter out the noise. The principles that guided Marcus Aurelius through plague and war can guide us through our modern crises, equipping us with the mental resilience to face an unpredictable future with equanimity. The ultimate gift of Stoicism, not the elimination of pain, but the transformation of pain into progress. Modern science confirms this isn't just poetic imagery, it's neurological reality. fMRI studies show that reframing challenges as opportunities literally lights up the brain's reward circuitry, indicating that our brains are wired to find gratification for coming obstacles. This proactive shift in perspective empowers us to actively seek growth within adversity. This proactive engagement with discomfort fosters a robust inner citadel, preparing us for life's inevitable storms by building a deep well of resilience within. It's about leaning into discomfort, understanding that resistance only prolongs suffering, and finding courageous acceptance. Participants who practice cognitive distancing, what Epictetus called the discipline of assent, separating their rational selves from impressions and thoughts, experience 35% reductions in PTSD symptoms compared to standard treatments. As one veteran put it, "I learned I'm not my thoughts, and I'm not what happened to me." This ability to detach from intrusive thoughts and reframe catastrophic events is a cornerstone of Stoic practice, empowering individuals to reclaim inner peace and agency. The Japanese art of kintsugi offers a powerful metaphor for this Stoic approach. Broken pottery repaired with gold lacquer doesn't hide its fractures, it celebrates them as part of its history. At Tokyo University, researchers studying kintsugi practitioners found their brain activity resembled long-term meditators, showing mindful acceptance. Our wounds, when properly integrated, become sources of strength and beauty. This groundbreaking research scientifically dissects the neural pathways and psychological processes through which individuals not only recover but actively transcend trauma, often developing deeper wisdom, stronger relationships, and a heightened appreciation for life. The Stoics practiced what we might now call voluntary discomfort, deliberately embracing life's hardships to build resilience. Harvard's positive psychology lab has quantified the benefits of this approach. Participants who regularly stepped outside their comfort zones, cold showers, fasting, physical challenges, showed a 27% increase in stress tolerance compared to control groups. Their brain scans revealed decreased activity in the amygdala, the fear center, and strength and connections to the prefrontal cortex, the reasoning center. This isn't just about mental fortitude, it's about rewiring the brain to react more calmly and rationally. By intentionally exposing ourselves to minor stressors, we train our minds to react more calmly and rationally when faced with significant adversity. History provides striking examples of this principle. Consider Admiral James Stockdale, shot down over Vietnam in 1965. During 7 years of torture and solitary confinement, he credited Epictetus' teachings for his survival. You must never confuse the philosophical conviction that you can endure anything with the factual question of whether you will, he later wrote. Cognitive scientists now call this the Stockdale paradox, maintaining unwavering faith while confronting brutal reality. Stockdale's incredible story underscores the power of a Stoic mindset to cope, and even find purpose, in unimaginable suffering. Modern research into grief and loss reveals another profound Stoic truth: what we resist persists. This research suggests that by embracing difficult emotions and acknowledging reality, we activate neural pathways facilitating quicker emotional processing and healing. Cutting-edge trauma therapy now incorporates Stoic principles. The VA hospital system's Stoic resilience training for veterans has shown remarkable results. The corporate world is discovering Stoic wisdom too. Perhaps most surprisingly, Stoicism is making waves in professional sports. The implications for everyday life are profound. When we stop running from difficulty and start asking, "What can this teach me?" As we face an increasingly uncertain world, with climate change, economic shifts, and social transformations, Stoicism offers not just comfort, but practical tools. We live in an age of unprecedented acceleration, where technological revolutions unfold in months rather than centuries, where global crises emerge with startling frequency, and where the very fabric of society seems to shift beneath our feet. Yet amidst this turbulence, Stoic philosophy emerges not as a relic of antiquity, but as the most relevant operating system for modern existence. At McGovern Institute, researchers discovered that individuals practicing Stoic mindfulness exhibit 40% less neural noise in their default mode network, the brain system responsible for mind wandering and anxiety. This scientific finding validates Marcus Aurelius' prescription: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Enter the Stoic concept of cosmopolitanism. Marcus Aurelius' vision of humanity as a single organism with a single consciousness. Faced with what psychologists call apocalypse fatigue, many succumb to paralysis, overwhelmed by the scale of the problem. As AI automates routine cognitive tasks, uniquely human qualities like wisdom and judgment become paramount. Google's AI ethics team has incorporated Stoic exercises into their development process, recognizing that ataraxia tranquility of mind provides the clearest lens for evaluating disruptive technologies. Their brains process losses and gains with equal equanimity, activating the same neural circuits whether facing windfalls or setbacks. NASA psychologists report these techniques help spacefarers maintain what they call the overview effect, that profound shift in consciousness when viewing Earth from orbit. The parallels to Marcus Aurelius' cosmic perspective are striking. Think of substance entire, of which you have a very small portion. Microsoft's research on productivity paranoia reveals how lack of visibility creates managerial anxiety. Now we arrive at a different place, not with all the answers, but with something far more valuable: the right questions and the tools to live them. The default mode network quiets, reducing anxiety about past and future. These measurable changes confirm what the ancient Stoics knew empirically: philosophy is not abstract theory, but practical technology for transforming human experience. Stoic managers, who focus on character and trust rather than surveillance, build more resilient teams. Validating Marcus Aurelius' leadership principle: waste no more time arguing what a good man should be, and 30% greater life satisfaction than those who either reject technology or become enslaved to it. Not because it promises safety or predicts outcomes, but because it teaches us how to stand firm within the storm. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire during plague and war. While writing, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Our task is the same today: to choose our judgments wisely. They've learned Seneca's lesson: tools are good servants, but poor masters. Be one. It contains the collected knowledge of civilizations, yet often distracts us from living wisely. It connects us globally, yet frequently isolates us locally. The corporate executive applying the dichotomy of control makes better decisions. What truly mattered? This single question, neuroscience shows, activates our brain's meaning-making networks more powerfully than any other reflection. As Seneca reminds us, no wind favors the ship without direction. The practices we've explored provide that compass. It cuts through trivialities to reveal our deepest values. The climate scientist practicing amor fati maintains hope amidst dire forecasts. The parent teaching Stoic resilience raises children prepared for an unpredictable future. The solution is in rejection, but Stoic use: intentional, measured, aligned with virtue rather than impulse. By cultivating inner virtues and focusing on what they can control, their own actions and leadership, these managers foster an environment of psychological safety and productivity, proving that ancient wisdom is profoundly relevant to modern organizational challenges. This Stoic view fosters humility and a broader understanding of one's place in the universe, essential for maintaining psychological well-being in vast, isolated environments. They embodied Seneca's advice: it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. This demonstrates how a disciplined mindset, free from the volatile swings of desire, Stoicism offers the corrective lens. When we practice negative visualization, we counter hedonic adaptation. When we apply the dichotomy of control, we conserve precious cognitive resources. When we take the view from above, we regain proper perspective, and aversion can lead to superior decision-making and long-term success in high-pressure, unpredictable environments, prioritizing wisdom over fleeting gains. A calm, rational mind, unclouded by fear or excessive optimism, is vital for making ethical decisions about powerful tools that will shape the future of humanity, ensuring responsible innovation aligned with human well-being. But Stoicism provides a different framework, focusing on what's within our control, our actions and attitudes, versus what's not. Cambridge University studies show that platforms exploit our dopamine systems, creating addiction loops antithetical to Stoic self-mastery. Yet the solution emerges from ancient texts, Seneca's letters on avoiding the crowd, or Epictetus' warnings about false impressions. Modern digital Stoics who practice periodic disconnection show neural patterns similar to long-term meditators, with enhanced activity in regions associated with self-control. This deliberate practice helps reclaim attention and preserve inner tranquility against constant digital pressures. Populations with higher rates of Stoic practice measured through philosophical engagement surveys showed significantly lower rates of pandemic-related mental health crises. Their coping strategies mirrored Epictetus' dichotomy of control, focusing energy only on what they could influence their reactions, precautions rather than external, uncontrollable events. Brain imaging revealed these individuals had stronger connections between their amygdala and prefrontal cortex, the neural basis for emotional regulation, allowing them to remain composed amidst widespread fear and uncertainty. The outcome of global events. NASA climate scientists who practice Stoic techniques show 35% higher resilience scores, with brain activity patterns indicating enhanced problem-solving capacity. They embody Seneca's insight: a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Remarkably, fMRI studies show that contemplating this worldview activates the superior temporal sulcus, the brain region associated with empathy and big-picture thinking. This ancient idea helps bridge divides, encouraging a broader, more inclusive perspective essential for navigating an increasingly interconnected and often fractured global society. Realize this, and you will find strength. This reduction in internal chatter allows for greater mental clarity and emotional stability, crucial for navigating the constant barrage of information and demands typical of modern life, fostering a more resilient and focused cognitive state. It offers a robust framework for thought and action, equipping individuals to face the complexities of contemporary life with a profound sense of inner calm and clear purpose, transforming potential overwhelm into opportunities for growth and focused engagement. Neuroscience now reveals why Stoic practices prove so effective in our hyper-connected world. The digital age has weaponized distraction in ways the ancient Stoics could never have imagined. Stanford's Attention Lab studies show the average office worker switches tasks every 3 minutes, with smartphone notifications creating what psychologists call continuous partial attention. Against this backdrop, Epictetus' discipline of attention, first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do, becomes not just philosophical advice, but a cognitive survival strategy. Brain scans reveal that those who practice single-tasking meditation, a modern cousin to Stoic pursuits, develop thicker myelin sheaths in their prefrontal cortices, essentially upgrading their mental operating systems for sustained focus. Globalization presents another modern challenge the Stoics anticipated. Yale's Cultural Cognition Project demonstrates how tribal thinking distorts our perception of facts, fueling division and misunderstanding. The climate crisis offers perhaps the ultimate test of Stoic principles. Artificial intelligence presents another frontier where Stoicism proves unexpectedly relevant. The pandemic provided a real-world stress test of Stoic resilience. Financial markets offer another arena where Stoicism shines. Princeton researchers studying elite traders found that the most successful shared one trait, Stoic emotional detachment. Even space exploration benefits from Stoic wisdom. Astronauts training for Mars missions practice Stoic exercises to prepare for isolation and uncertainty, developing mental resilience for extreme conditions. Social media presents perhaps the ultimate modern challenge to Stoic ideals. The workplace transformation accelerated by remote work also benefits from Stoic insights. We began this journey standing amidst the noise and haste of modern life, desperately grasping at illusions of permanence in a world of flux. Neuroscience has shown us that Stoic practice literally reshapes the brain. The anterior cingulate cortex thickens, enhancing emotional regulation. The modern world's crises, from climate change to digital overload, share a common root: our failure to align our minds with reality's fundamental nature. Consider the smartphone in your hand, a device the Stoics could never have imagined, yet perfectly suited to their wisdom. Research from the University of Pennsylvania reveals that individuals who combine Stoic principles with digital tools show 40% higher productivity. As we face an uncertain future, with AI reshaping work, climate-altering ecosystems, and societies undergoing rapid transformation, Stoicism provides the stable foundation. The path forward becomes clear when we understand that Stoicism was never about withdrawal from the world, but about more effective engagement with it. We leave you with a final thought experiment from Epictetus. Imagine you've died, looking back on your life. The Stoic invitation into perfection, but to progress. Not to complete tranquility, but to greater equilibrium. Thank you for walking this journey with us. See you in the next meditation.